clauses, different types of clauses, as well as work on a new sentence pattern. So, real quick, I have a learning target for you. I want you to turn to your neighbor, read it to each other, and make a prediction about what we're going to do today, please. Ready, go.
Maybe the two pages. Yeah, that's the more simple pattern. 4 sentences following pattern 3.
Okay, and back to the friends. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, who can define our verb today, compose? Can anybody remember what we've done previously? Let's see. Create. Create. That's anybody else? Different definition? Create is a great one. Yes, Heidi.
We're probably going to write them down.
Write them down? Yeah. Usually you write things down when you compose them. You want them to be shared. So we're going to compose 4 sentences. You will come away with just having written at least 4 sentences at the very end of the lesson. And you'll be able to vary your own personal writing more dynamically, interestingly. Okay, so here are a total of 5 quotes that I've pulled from different books. And I would like 5 volunteers to read them. We can go one at a time. Brianna, can you read the top left one?
The longest day of my life began tardily.
Yep. Okay, who's next?
Richard from Texas is not a guy who worries about a lot of stuff.
Lexi, do you want to read the next one?
Harry had never even imagined such a strange and splendid place.
Can I get another volunteer? Colleen?
She was, wait, I'm on that one, right?
Yep.
Okay, she was still lying there, not moving.
And one last one. Yep.
It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.
Okay, so some of these quotes we know very well, and some we don't quite know the context for, right? So, can anybody think about what makes one group different from the other? We're looking at the left versus the right. And, especially on the left, the underlined sections is what we want to focus on. And on the right, the entire quote in general. Is there something different between the two?
The quotes on what side? The left side. Only have one verb in them.
You only have one verb? Okay, that might be true. Anybody else have any different ideas?
The ones on the left only have one clause.
They only have one clause. Is there a type of clause on the left?
Independent.
They're independent? Yeah. What about the parts that are underlined on the right? They're all dependent. Okay, so we're looking at complete sentences that have a subject and a single verb pairing. And the ones on the right that are, the underlined portions in particular, are dependent clauses. They don't stand as a sentence on their own. Everybody remember that from previous work? Okay. So now we're going to look at pattern 3. So the pattern looks like this. Independent clause with general statement, and then independent clause with specific statement. So I like to think of these as 2 halves to a bigger picture, okay? So one of the best uses for this type of a clause is to give more information or greater emphasis on something. Okay, we'll look at some examples in a second, but basically if you want to talk about a subject in general terms, and then you want to give specific information about one portion of it. So I could say, my hair is medium length. It is dark brown. So, my hair could be medium length on anybody's head, but dark brown is a little more specific. That make sense? Okay. While we talked about independent clauses and dependent clauses in our opener, we're now just going to focus on independent clauses. So you can kind of put dependent clauses to the side, and we're just going to focus on the independent ones. The analogy I like to remember with this is that you're getting from pictures of the countryside and pretty trees, and then you end up zooming in to someone's apartment, and then you zoom in on the pretty girl brushing her teeth. Okay, so you get more and more specific. Any questions so far? Okay, let's look at some examples. Can I get someone to read? Maybe Jill?
Yeah. I propose this question to the meeting. Are rats comrades?
Okay, so hold up a thumbs up or thumbs down to answer my question. Do we have 2 independent clauses? Probably you're questionable. Okay, someone who's holding a thumbs up, tell me why there are 2 independent clauses.
Well, both sentences make sense on their own.
Yeah. Are rats comrades? That's a thing. I propose a question to this meeting. Okay, we all thumbs up now? Okay. So that's from fiction. We're going to look at a variety of examples from across different genres. Super Bowl 49, disappointment for the Seahawks. So we have general, Super Bowl 49, pretty big event, right? And we get specific to disappointment for the Seahawks. Everybody see too? Yep.
What are those independent clauses?
I mean, Super Bowl 49 is a little bit like, it's more of a statement, but I feel like it's such a big event that you could give, like, that could be it. It's a title for the entire game, right? But to me, it's kind of, it works as an independent clause. Does that make sense? In this zooming in, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, especially with this one. Brianna? Okay.
So we're breaking the rules here, but
Oh, just a little bit.
okay.
But that's kind of what they do in journalism. They try to grab your attention with the big thing and then give you a snippet, right? I've seen that a lot on like magazine covers. Kim Kardashian, something, something, something. That's not an independent clause, but it's what they do. Can I have someone else read one? Brianna.
Is it
Continue.
2? Oh gosh. Okay, so it once. Turns his mostly toothless smile upon me with the force of a compassionate fire hose, and this is so reassuring. I had remembered him correctly. He is extraordinary.
Okay, so we're looking at the underlined section in particular here in a bigger sentence, because memoirs kind of just rush along in their own narrative, right? But the underlined section, this is so reassuring. I guess I shouldn't have underlined the and. I had remembered him correctly. Does that thumbs up, thumbs down? Sideways? Okay. And that's a memoir, so that's a more personal writing style. So this can work in your own personal writing too, not just in fiction, not just in journalism. And then nonfiction. And this works kind of like our Super Bowl example. Canada, a short history. Okay, so a little bit of everything. Okay, so on a piece of paper, please complete these 4 questions. In the following sentences, for the first 2, identify the independent clause and the dependent clauses. You can choose how to mark them however you wish. So Tamara forgot her books, but passed the test. And John was proud of the Seahawks, even though they lost the game. And then for 3 and 4, write 2 sentences in our pattern 3.
examples for the independent clause is general statement, colon, independent clause is specific statement. When I see pens down and eyes, I know we'll be ready to share.
Oh, wait.
Please. Just one more minute, and we'll start sharing. Heidi, would you like to share one of yours? One of your sentences, 3 or 4?
Okay. It was a beautiful morning. Colon. The sun was shining, and I had coffee.
Nice. Anybody else would like to share theirs? Lexi.
They won the game, colon, who has scored the most points.
Yeah, because they won the game, reply to almost any like game, but the past got this